Did you know that you can make delicious tandoori chicken right in your air fryer? Well, you can, and I'm gonna show you how. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life, using real food, and we keep it real simple. Today we're gonna make a simple recipe for tandoori chicken. Now you may know that tandoori chicken is usually cooked in a high heat clay oven called a tandoor oven. Well, I don't have one, and you probably don't have one. So I had to make some changes in the recipe to be able for, everyone to be able to make the recipe, right? So I thought, well, I've got the Ninja Woodfire outdoor oven. That gets up to 700 degrees. Let me try that. Well, it worked, but not as well as I was hoping. So then I went to the Ninja Woodfire outdoor grill. That worked beautifully. I really was happy with the results. Then I thought, people might not have an outdoor grill like this, or they may not want to cook it outside. How will it work just in the air fryer? It was the best. I was like amazed, blown away. So that's how we're going to do it today. We're going to make air fryer chicken tandoori. First thing we need to do is mix up the marinade, and it's an easy marinade. There are a lot of spices in it though, okay? One of the spices that I want to talk about before we even start mixing this up is the fenugreek, because it's not something that you may have on hand. And I just wanted to let you know you can skip it. I've made the recipe with or without. I do prefer it with, but it was delicious without, okay? I also have two different types of paprika. I'm using a sweet paprika and a smoked paprika. You could use all smoked paprika. You could use all sweet paprika. If you don't have both kinds, it's perfectly fine. Other than that, they're pretty basic seasonings, okay? And I'll get into what they are when we start mixing them in. The base of our marinade is Greek yogurt, and I'm using 3/4 of a cup of the Greek yogurt. Next up is the ginger and the garlic, and there's a lot of it. 2 tablespoons of ginger grated, so fresh ginger grated, or ginger paste, which you can buy in the store in a tube, and 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, which I minced fresh, and I took the whole bulb and minced it up, and it was about a tablespoon. Then you want to add in a tablespoon of the lemon juice. You can use fresh or bottled. That's perfectly fine. Just sort of whisk that up a little bit. And now we're going to add in all the delicious spices. What I'm using for the spice blend is 2 teaspoons of garam masala, 1.5 teaspoons of fine grind sea salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of sweet paprika, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of coriander powder, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne powder if you like spice. If you don't, leave it out. 2 teaspoons of fenugreek, which is optional. All right, that looks perfect. Now, if your mix is a little thick, which mine is a little thick this time, I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of water to it, just to thin it out. Now, you don't want a really thin marinade. You want it to coat the chicken thickly, but I'm afraid that this is too thick and it's not gonna coat all the chicken thighs evenly. So we'll pour in a couple tablespoons of water. So I'll start off with 1 tablespoon. All right, well, that's a little better, but still just a little thicker. So let's add in another tablespoon, and that should be good. All right, that's the marinade. Now, you could transfer this into a plastic bag if you wanted, but honestly, what I do is put the chicken thighs right in the marinade, cover it with saran wrap, and pop it in the refrigerator. Let's talk about the chicken thighs. This is 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I don't do a whole lot of prep to them. I don't trim the fat off of them usually. You can if you want, but I find that that actually helps crisp and char everything. So I just leave it on. The only thing I do, even though there's salt in the marinade, is I do sprinkle just a little bit of salt and pepper right on the chicken thighs. And just a little bit. That was probably a 1/4 teaspoon. So really not a lot at all. And then a little bit of pepper. I just find that helps to season the chicken itself so that you get the nicely seasoned marinade, and when it gets it gets kind of charred on there. But then when you get down to the chicken meat itself, it also has flavor. So it's a win-win. All right, I'm gonna season the other side, but I'll bring it up to my cutting board to do that. All right, what I do with the chicken pieces, because I said I don't do a whole lot of prep and I don't, is sometimes, not even all the time, but sometimes I will cut them in half. So just kind of, there's almost like a natural little break. So this will be a smaller piece and this will be a larger piece. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. It's completely up to you how you prep the chicken, okay? All right, now I've got a clean hand and a dirty hand here, so I'm gonna go back into my salt and pepper and just do just a teeny bit here. And then we're gonna pop it in the marinade. And I'm gonna do that for all of the pieces. Now, make sure that all of the chicken thighs are coated on both sides with this marinade. And when you're done coating on both sides, make sure it's under the marinade. So just push them all down. This is perfect. Now you can cut this recipe in half just by cutting all the ingredients in half, and you can double it and double all the ingredients. So you do want to make more marinade if you're going to put in more chicken pieces, because this just covers the 2 pounds. All right, that looks great. Now we're gonna cover with saran wrap. What I like to do is pull a little bit extra and then push it down so it touches the surface. Now, if you're using a plastic bag, you don't have to worry about that, but just like this. Okay, marinate a minimum of 4 hours in the refrigerator. Overnight is better, and up to 2 days. The chicken marinated overnight in the refrigerator, and then I took it out about 30 minutes ago. So you want to bring it out 30 minutes or so before you're going to cook it, just to take the chill off. Now, very important step, okay? Super important. And I think it's one that people forget to do. And that is blot the chicken off. Don't wipe the marinade off, but lay it on a tray with some paper towels and just lightly blot the excess, okay? And the reason we do this is because if the meat is super wet, it will create steam. Steam will stop the charring process, and we want that beautiful char on our chicken. It smells so good. And then cover it up like that. And do another layer. Okay, perfect. And then just cover it up like that and just let it sit for a few minutes. Now is a good time to get your air fryer preheated. For this recipe, you want to preheat for a full 10 minutes, no matter what type of air fryer you have. Even if your air fryer says just preheat for 3 minutes or don't preheat at all, you want to preheat for this recipe. You want the pot to be super hot. You also want to have the rack in your air fryer. So if you have a drawer style air fryer, hopefully you have some sort of a tray or a rack that will go in there. You want the chicken as high up as it can be without touching the heating element, okay? Because we want that direct hot blast of heat and the fan circulating to really get this chicken done fast and get it charred up, okay? So different air fryers may have different results. The Ninja Foodi works great. I already told you I've tried it in the outdoor grill. That works great. The Ninja Speedy works great. And as a matter of fact, since I'm only going to be able to fit a portion of this chicken in the Ninja Foodi, I decided I'm going to go ahead and fire up the other appliances, and we are going to do a little comparison so you can see how it cooks. I'm going to use the same temperature, which is 400 degrees. "20 minutes is fine. I'll adjust that as I need to. We want to preheat for a full 10 minutes. So I'm going to go on 400 degrees in the Ninja Foodi and in the Ninja Speedy. On the wood fire grill, I am going to do high grill. okay? Because I want those grill marks. That I think looks very attractive on the chicken. So no matter which way you want to cook your chicken, or you could do a combination to see what you like the best, just set it for 400 degrees for your air fryers, and your grill you want on high. Once the air fryer has heated for a full 10 minutes, put your chicken on the rack in a single layer and air fry on 400 for at least 6 minutes. Then turn the chicken. If it does not release easily, continue cooking for another minute or so until it releases from the rack and you're able to flip the chicken. Then you're gonna cook another 4 to 6 minutes until the internal temperature reaches at least 165 degrees and you have a good bit of charring. With the Ninja Woodfire Outdoor Grill, you can do open grilling or closed grilling. For this recipe, I'm gonna do open grilling, meaning I'm gonna preheat on high grill and then open it up. When it says add food, I'm gonna add the food, and then you can cook your chicken in an open grill environment. So again, cook it on high grill for about 5 to 6 minutes, and then flip it over. When it's ready to be flipped, it will release easily. So if it's not quite ready, leave it alone for another minute or so until it releases for you. Then cook to an internal temperature of 165. All right, so they all turned out looking amazing. The total time for all 3 appliances was about 12 minutes. The grill probably could have gone a little bit less, but I was juggling the 3 appliances. Some of them stuck, like I had a little more trouble with the Speedy and the grill with the marinade getting stuck on, but all in all, they all worked out beautiful. They look beautiful, so it's gonna be a matter of what appliance you have and what your preference is. So let's give them a taste. So I'm gonna pull one up from each. This is the Ninja Speedy. And they all hit about 170 to 180 degrees. That is normal. The chicken's done at 165. These are thighs though, they're very forgiving. Don't worry about it. To get that char that you want, they will oftentimes go up into the 170s or 180s. All right, let's try to get at one that's a little bit, equal in size here. That looks pretty good. And then this one for the grill. Okay, so air fry Ninja Speedy, 400 degrees. Air fry Ninja Foodie, 400 degrees. Grill on high on the outdoor wood fire. So let's cut into them. I'm gonna cut right through the middle here. All right, looks really good. Doesn't look dry at all. This is the reason why we use thighs. They are much more forgiving. You can use chicken breast, but they will tend to be a little bit drier. All of them look really good. And all of them looked about the same on the inside, so that's good. All right, let's get a little crispy edge here to taste. Wow. The flavors are outstanding. That's the Ninja Speedy. All right, again, let's get like a little end piece. Now you can see that the Speedy has a little bit more of the charring than the Foodie, and that is because it's a smaller appliance and the chicken was probably just a little bit higher up towards the heating element. It's good. There's really no difference in taste or texture. I know there's not gonna be difference in taste because it's the same recipe, but no difference in texture between those two. All right, let's do the same thing here. Try to get like a little crispy end. This one got to the highest temperature, so we'll see, did that dry out that meat? I don't know. It's not dry. Wow. They are all delicious. I really could not pick. This one has more of a grilled flavor, just from being on those grill grates. I didn't use any smoke or anything, even though the wood fire is a smoker as well. They're all delicious. I would tend to think that the air fryer texture is just a little bit better, but the flavor might be a little bit better on the grilled one. I don't know, it's a toss-up. So guess what? That means you can make it in your air fryer or you can make it on your grill. You're going to love this recipe. I also made a little bit of homemade naan, which I will have a recipe out for as soon as I perfect it. I'm not quite there yet, but it is super easy. It grilled right next to the tandoori chicken on the wood fire. Oh my goodness. And brushed with some homemade ghee. And I made some basmati rice that I just kept warm in a bowl with a little saran wrap. So you can make your rice before you start preheating and cooking your tandoori chicken, and just put some saran wrap over it. It's gonna stay warm until your chicken's done cooking. Enjoy.